So we're going to find the slope using the slope formula between the points 3, 8 and 8, 13. So go ahead and write down those two ordered pairs. Okay? And we're using the slope formula. So we have to subtract some y values, subtract some x values. So what I usually do is I kind of set up that formula, but I don't put anything in there yet. So I have the fraction bar and two minus signs, and we're going to subtract. So remember, we're subtracting the y values, the 13 and the 8. And then we're also going to subtract the x values in the denominator, the 8 and the 3. But remember how I showed you to do this? I don't know, it just works for me, and hopefully it helps you out. I take the second ordered pair and I turn it. Imagine you rotate the numbers. 13's on top, 8's on the bottom. So that 13 goes here. And the 8 is in the denominator. Okay? And then we do the same thing with the first ordered pair, the x1 and the y1. You rotate them. So which number is on top this time? The 8. And 3 is on the bottom. Okay? And luckily for us this time, it's basic subtraction. Bigger number minus smaller number. Okay? And so 13 take away 8. That's 5. 8 take away 3. That's 5. And then we just simplify or reduce the fraction. 5/5. 1. So the answer here is just 1. The slope is 1. Okay? So that's the first one. Let's do a few more. Let's go on to a second one. So this one's going to be 10, -6. And so now we have negatives, and then our second ordered pair is 8, comma, -16. Okay? So let's find the slope between these 2 points. Imagine we plot the points and draw a line. How steep is that line is basically what we want to figure out. Okay? So let's set it up. Okay, let's start with this ordered pair. Help me out. What's the top number, guys? -16. So 8 would be in the denominator. So that's the first one. I'll do the first ordered pair behind it. Which number is on top now? -6 and 10. Now, this time we do have negatives. So whenever we have the negatives, subtracting negatives is tricky. Some people can do it mentally. It's a visual thing. It's much easier to change every subtraction to inverse addition, the opposite addition. And here's what you do. You do keep, change, opposite. We call it KCO. So you keep the first number, right? You change the subtraction. That's the C. And you want the opposite of the second number. It's a negative. So if it's -6, you just put a plus there, make it +6. So now it's -16 plus 6. And what do we get there? -10. How about 8 minus 10? -2. If you don't see it, if you're like, how is that -2? Because it doesn't have any negatives in there. You can also do keep, change, opposite, and rewrite it as 8 plus -10. And then you're doing same sign, adding, keep, different sign, subtract. So the different signs you subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. So now I have negative 10 over negative 2. How much is that? Yeah, it's a negative divided by a negative, so it's a positive. Got to remember this. If we're multiplying or dividing, whenever you divide two of the same sign, you get the positive. So that's going to give us positive 5. So we got a positive 5 in this one. So the slope is 5 or 5/1. We'll write it as 5. Okay. So 2. We got 2 down. Let's do a third one. Negative 9, comma, negative 3, and 1, comma, negative 3. Okay. So suppose we have these 2 points, and we'll find the slope. There's the setup for the formula. Okay. I'll start with a second ordered pair, turn it, so negative 3 is on top, and 1's on the bottom. I'll do this one. Again, negative 3 is on top, and negative 9's on the bottom. Okay. And we want to do the same thing. Whenever I see negatives, I'm going to just change it to addition. So if I KCO this thing, negative 3 minus negative 3, what does it become? Negative 3 plus, how about here? Positive. So I just make a little plus sign there, indicating that's a positive now. And we'll do the same thing on the bottom. Keep, change, opposite. KCO. And now we'll just use the rules for integer addition. And we got negative 3 plus positive 3. That's 0. And on the bottom, we got 1 plus 9. So that's 10. We got 0 tens, or 0 divided by 10. What is that going to be? What's 0 divided by 10? Ooh, I'm getting all kinds of answers. Well, luckily, we can always check. We could do 0 divide 10. Yeah. 0's in the numerator. Your 0's divided by something other than 0. It's going to give you 0. 10 goes into 0 times, basically. So the answer here is 0. Remember what a 0 slope tells us? What kind of line is that? Horizontal, but yeah. It's one of those special cases. It's the line that looks like this. Perfectly horizontal. Okay? What do you think caused that to be a 0? Yeah, but why did we end up with a 0 as an answer is what I'm asking. Anything here we can see that might have caused that 0? Yes. Yeah, both of the y's are the same if you notice. Negative 3 for x, y1, and negative 3 for y2. Maybe that's it. Well, let's see. Let's try this one. Number 4. Let's do 6, comma, negative 5. And 6, comma, negative 8. Okay? And let's see. M equals Let's set this up. Start with a second ordered pair. Let's put those numbers in. Let's see. Which number goes on top? -8 and 6. So let's do the second number. And here we have -5 and 6. Okay. Interesting. What do you notice? Yeah, both of the x's are the same. What's going to happen when we subtract them? Yeah, it's going to get a 0, or it will be a 0 for sure. Well, let's figure out what the numerator is, though. We'll do keep, change, opposite. We got -8 plus 5, -3. 6 minus 6 is 0. So this time the 0 is in the denominator. What does that mean? Yeah, this one's undefined. If we try it on our calculator, -3 divided by 0. See how I get that divide by 0 error? You can't divide by 0 like we talked about previously. This is undefined. So what that means is that's a vertical line. Okay. So I kind of did these out of order. So number 4 should have been number 5. So I apologize for that. So I'm just going to call this number 5, and number 4 is coming up. Okay. But it's actually, I kind of like the way this turned out. Just remember, when we go to Delta Math, this is actually number 5. The answer here for undefined is number 5. And whatever answer we get next is going to be for number 4. Okay, so here's our next one. -5, 8 and -11, 8. Here's why I like this. Maybe we can just figure out our answer right away. Look over the ordered pairs, guys. Take a look. It's going to be 0. Which one's going to be the 0? The numerator or denominator? The numerator, right? I mean, let's just set it up to verify it, but we're going to get, if we set this up, we got 8 over -11, and we have 8 over -5, right? And the moment you see something like this, take a look. We got 0 over something. Something not 0, I should say. We got 0 over something not 0. I'm not really concerned now what it is. It's just 0 over some number that's not 0. So 0 divided by anything is 0. So the bottom line, if y's are the same, it's a 0 slope. If x's are the same, it's undefined. Yes?
Would it be possible to get an equation that was really 0 to 0?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and let's suppose we do get that. Guess what? If I do 0 divided by 0, what do I get? Yeah, it's undefined again. So anytime that rule kind of takes over anything. If you get 0 in the denominator, then it's undefined. Even if 0 is the numerator. Yeah. Okay. All right. So last one. This is number 6. Now I'm thinking I should have set up my problems in this order because I like that. Well, at least we did it with the last class. Okay, here we go. This is -2, comma 3, and -14, comma -5. Let's set it up. Slope equals, let's get these numbers in there. -5 over -14. And do these numbers. 3 over -2. Okay? Again, lots of negatives here. Almost every number except that 3 is negative. So guess what we're going to do? Let's KCO this thing. If I keep change opposite, -5 minus 3 becomes -5 plus what? -3. Keep change and you want the opposite there. And in the denominator, we'll do keep change opposite. We get -14 plus what? 2. Okay. So now we just use the rules for integer addition. Same sign, add and keep. So that's -8 over same sign, add and keep. Different sign, subtract. So here we subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. We get -12. So now I got -8 over -12. What can I do there? Any thoughts? Yeah, we got to reduce it to 3/4. Let's see how. Well, first of all, why is it going to be positive? Yeah, we're dividing negative with negative, so it's positive. And also, I could simplify this, remember? Divide the same number on both. What number goes into both of them? 4. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 4. It's negative divided by negative, so it's positive. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 divided by 4 is 3. So we get 2/3. Okay. So there's our answer, 2/3, positive 2/3. Okay, so the assignment is on Delta Math. We just did, there's 5 examples. We just did them. I apologize, guys, but when you're entering in your answers into Delta, they're a little bit out of order here. So this one should be first. The answers are 1, 5, 0, 0, undefined, and then 2/3 on Delta Math. Okay? All right, so at this point, I want you to get your Chromebooks out. Leave your scratch paper out. Just continue working on it. And then you'll answer the questions on Delta that are just like this. Okay? So